Greetings, humanity! Today is Thursday, January 29th, 2026. Let's grok the news. I'm Robert Gardner, using GROK each weekday to help me search out and to summarize the biggest headlines in the news today. You also get the amazing benefit of my opinions. We review a roundup of the most critical reports in the world from Minneapolis, from Tehran, from Washington, D.C., from Niger, from Beijing, and the rest of the world. All of that, plus a deep dive into the top story in the world today, right after this. God with Us, the story of Jesus, is a full blending of all the Gospels into one continuous narrative, one that misses nothing from the Savior's life. Inspired by the majestic text of the King James Bible, God with Us is adapted to modern language and formatted on the page for easy reading. We don't just cram letters onto the page to save money. It's a faithful paraphrase divided into brief stories fit for daily Bible studies. This inexpensive book was fully researched to present the story of Jesus from his birth to his ascension. Find God with Us by Robert Gardner, that's me, at Amazon.com or wherever books are sold. And now, let's grok the most important news in the world today, starting with our lead story, Dateline Minneapolis in the USA. 2 U.S. Border Patrol agents have been placed on paid administrative leave following the fatal shooting of Alex Pretty, a 32-year-old ICU nurse, during an immigration enforcement operation on January 24th. Video footage shows Pretty in a confrontation with ICE agents days earlier, where he is seen spitting at officers, gesticulating and shouting madly, and then viciously kicking out a tail light before the agents had enough and dragged him to the ground. His unfortunate death has provided a pretext for citywide coordinated protests, illegal clashes outside facilities, and a highly organized, professionally trained shadow network defying federal actions in the notorious Democrat stronghold. A preliminary Department of Homeland Security report has been sent to Congress, while President Trump has hinted at shifting to a more relaxed federal tactic in Minneapolis, amid the growing backlash and Second Amendment concerns from gun rights groups. The shooting has also fueled the ongoing Democratic, cultural, and political revolt against the broader immigration crackdown, with critics using inflammatory rhetoric to accuse the administration of inflammatory rhetoric. Democratic figures, including Representative Ilhan Omar, have dubiously reported skyrocketing threats linked to the heated environment, an environment they heated up. The DOJ continues its investigation, and the case has amplified national debates over immigration enforcement, use of force, and public safety. And now we grok the headlines from around the globe. Dateline Washington, D.C., and Tehran. President Trump escalated warnings to Iran, declaring time is running out for a nuclear deal and claiming a massive armada is headed for the region. He threatened military action far worse than previous strikes if Tehran refuses to negotiate. Iran responded that its fingers are on the triggers, vowing unprecedented retaliation and boosting drone capabilities. Analysts outline potential scenarios from limited strikes to broader conflict. This observer thinks it is time to end the evil regime of the Ayatollahs and to free the people of Persia from Muslim Iran. They should also change the name of their nation to celebrate their liberty, but that's just my opinion. Let Iran lie in the dust heap of history as a warning against Islam. Dateline Washington, D.C., the Federal Reserve held interest rates steady at a very high 3.5 to 3.75%, citing solid economic growth despite elevated inflation, somewhat elevated inflation, and a stabilizing job market. The decision defied political pressure from the Trump administration and reinforced the central bank's independence amid ongoing affordability concerns. Was this one last strike by the central bank in an election year against a president who is showing more independence from the money powers than any since Andrew Jackson? Other observers of history may agree. Dateline, Niamey, Niger. Heavy gunfire and loud explosions were reported near the airport in Niger's capital, Niamey, sparking fears of a deteriorating security situation in the volatile Sahel region. No group has yet claimed responsibility for the sustained clashes. Dateline, Beijing and the Myanmar border. China executed 11 individuals convicted of ties to a major cyber scam syndicate operating out of compounds in Myanmar, part of a crackdown on cross-border fraud and human trafficking networks. And this is why China was invited by Trump to be part of the Board of Peace. Dateline, New York, New York. A driver repeatedly rammed a vehicle into the Chabad Lubavitch World Headquarters in Brooklyn. The suspect was taken into custody. Authorities are investigating the incident as a possible hate crime amid rising anti-Semitic concerns. Well, of course, it's a hate crime. What else would prompt someone to ruin a perfectly good vehicle? Hate crime indeed. Thought crimes. It's a crime. We should leave things at that. Dateline, Beijing. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer announced that UK citizens will soon enjoy visa-free travel to China, a reciprocal measure finalized during high-level talks with President Xi Jinping aimed at strengthening bilateral ties. So, subjects of the English province of Red China can freely travel back and forth to their benign communist masters. Is the reciprocal opposite also true? Will Chinese operatives enjoy free travel to their British province? Should that be celebrated? Dateline, Colombia. All 15 people aboard a small aircraft were killed when it crashed in a remote area of Colombia. Rescue teams confirmed no survivors from the incident. Dateline, the USA. United States auto insurance rates have begun to flatten, with industry analysts attributing the stabilization to reduced accident and claim volumes linked to the Trump administration's ongoing deportation initiatives. Imagine that. This observer does not find it strange that when you remove drivers from the road who are uninsured and who cannot read road signs in the English language, that the accident rate will invariably go down. Insurance rates are flattening? I'm ready for them to come down. Dateline, India. Health authorities in India issued urgent Nipah virus prevention guidelines as cases continue, heightening global alarm from the professionally alarmed over a deadly bat-borne pathogen with no vaccine or specific treatment. Yet another bat virus introduced somehow to the human population. Nothing to see here, folks. Keep moving. Dateline, the USA. A major new study projects that obesity among American adults will increase by 19 million cases by 2035, affecting an estimated 126 million people and posing severe public health and economic challenges. A global Dateline this time, Amazon announcing plans to eliminate 16,000 jobs worldwide as part of a broader cost reduction strategy amid shifting market conditions. Another USA deadline, Tesla reported its lowest annual profit since the pandemic, driven by weaker electric vehicle sales and heavy spending on artificial intelligence initiatives. This observer thinks the AI investment for Tesla will pay off down the road. Pun not intended. Dateline Jakarta. Indonesian stocks plunged sharply, triggering multiple trading halts as downgrade fears and capital flight intensified economic pressures on Southeast Asia's largest economy. Dateline the UK and Europe. The United Kingdom has committed to joining a major multinational offshore wind farm project with 9 European partners to accelerate their clean energy goals. This immediately after President Trump explained why the wind farms were a climate alarmist and Chinese scam, one bought into only by suckers. You can hear the suction all the way across the Atlantic. Nuclear fission and fusion are the way to go. Europe can't even make their own batteries. Wind farms are another ingredient in a recipe for economic disaster. Dateline, the United States. Peter Schweitzer's new book, The Invisible Coup, debuted at number 1 on the New York Times bestsellers list, drawing significant attention to its examination of political power dynamics. Well, I thank you for listening. Please join me tomorrow to once again grok the news. I'm Robert Gardner. Godspeed and God bless.